Empowered Leaders. I'm Shweta Mogha, and this is Empowered Women of the World podcast. Leaders across 47 countries listen to this podcast to get tips on leadership, technology, and entrepreneurship, and mindfulness. Stay with me to the end of this podcast, where I will share with you a tip or a resource that you can use to be successful. Before we start today's podcast, I want to remind you about the upcoming eWOW Virtual Summit on April 24th, 2021. This year's theme is I Persist and focuses on how we can adapt, redefine, and reinvent ourselves and our goals to future-proof ourselves. We will have leaders across the globe sharing their views on technology, entrepreneurship, and resilience. And today, I'm excited to welcome Chelle Johnson on the show. Chelle is the founder and CEO of Best You Career Advantage. She helps achievers and women in STEM amplify their awesome and have abundance careers. Chelle specializes in and is passionate about working with women of color, minorities, and other diverse backgrounds. She has led diversity initiatives at Honeywell Aerospace and has been on D&I boards. Today, we will talk about Amplify Your Awesome and be your best at everything that you do. Hi, Chelle. Welcome to the show.
Shweta, I'm so excited to join you and the other empowered women from eWOW. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Chelle. We are equally excited to have you on the show. Chelle, you have a very interesting background. You were the first person in your family to graduate from college. You studied and worked across different geographies like Europe, Japan, and Mexico. Tell us how your years of career have evolved in last 10 to 8 years per se.
So like you said, I am the first person to graduate from my family to go to college. So really blessed and feel so honored to have that. Over the past 8 to 10 years, I have worked at companies like Comcast and Lockheed Martin, and I actually led university talent and talent operations for Lockheed Martin, and always was very involved with groups like SWE and NSBE and SHIPPY and Grace Hopper to bring on over 1,200 early in career interns and early grads into Lockheed Martin space. So really focusing on diversity, equity, inclusion, and increasing opportunities for women and actually those from the military and spouses as well. I am bilingual in Spanish and English, and so I've been on affinity groups for Hola and Pride, and I've actually led affinity groups and ERGs within large businesses. So my career now has landed me at a point where I am building my own business. I am a career coach and a career strategist, a talent intuitive, if you will, to help people, what we're going to talk about, amplify their awesome so that they resonate in a much better way with hiring leaders and can really be their best and change their mindset. You talked about mindfulness earlier, so I'd love to expand for you on how I help people do that. And I'm super excited to help your audience to focus on how to have better careers in engineering and STEAM-based global careers.
That's awesome, Chelle. As you were talking about your experience with previous organizations, I was thinking about my time at Amazon, and I did something very similar, working with NSBE, SHEB, and other, organizations to bring in diverse talent into the group, essentially. So very, very excited to have you, for this podcast. You did touch upon, your topic, which is Amplify Your Awesome. What does this term really mean? I'd love to know more about your views and how, you coach your people around this.
So Shweta, Amplify Your Awesome is something that I had to dig really deep to kind of even come up with. Mm-hmm. It's when I look at the verb amplify, it's about intensity. It's about at the DNA level, knowing yourself and resonating and boosting your own connection between your heart and your head, of not just what your head is telling you, but what is your heart telling you. And in this day of the pandemic, so many people are disconnected because they're not seeing people. They haven't been with their family in a year. They haven't resonated at the level that they are meant to for a while. And so amplification is about intensifying, being more marked, and boosting who you are and your connection with yourself. Then you can do that with others. And think about it. When you are living in a way that is from a negative thought perspective, fear, disappointment, feeling of disengagement, and being paralyzed in your world is kind of a very similar human trait. But when you can intensify that and truly connect and quiet that inner critic, think about how you are from a frequency perspective, and how your happiness and your positivity, and you can quiet that inner critic or that monkey mind, so that you live in a much more authentic and true way. So that's what that means from a career perspective, Shweta, is to amplify who you are and to have managers and people see your abilities and your performance. Think about the impact that has on the world, and the impact that would have just in a local community, to really boost leadership throughout the world.
Absolutely. That's wonderful, Shelley. And you rightly said, a pandemic has been really tough, for all of us. And, it's forcing us to think differently, act differently. And as you said, amplifying your happiness, being connected to your own DNA, that helps you essentially spread happiness amongst your family, peers, colleagues, as well as your friends. As women, I see that we are often our biggest critique, and we undermine our achievements. What are your tips around that? How should we overcome this?
So a lot of time women are their biggest critic, and their self-compassion and grace is dependent on what other people think, do, feel, say. And, overcoming this and shutting off the inner critic and that judge, what I call the judge in your head, is not easy. But there's so many different scientifically proven ways to help that monkey mind to calm down. It's not just about the psychology of it. It's about how you feel about it, your emotional connection, your positive intelligence connection. And for women to do this, it really does take a very focused effort on just pausing, slowing down, being aware of that thought is just a thought. That thought does not equate to reality. Now, in different global locations, we all know that women are treated differently. And my goodness, what happened in Atlanta is just horrific. But women can help change that. One, by supporting other women. Two, by bolstering and intensifying the abilities of women, which is why eWOW is so important. And to really focus on developing within yourself, stopping that judge, and living from a point of wisdom. I think Rumi said, what you seek also seeks you.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. Women are seeking to be recognized and truly, authentically, unconditionally accepted for who they are. And that starts again at that mental health, mental fitness and DNA level, where they know and helping to support. So that's why I'm so excited to be aligned with eWOW and so grateful to be on your podcast today.
Thank you, Shelley. And leaders like yourself are the ones which make eWOW family awesome and spread awesomeness. So thank you, for being part of the family as well. Um, I do know that, and this is something which I have personally faced, is, having fears, um, looking at past beliefs, judgments, that prevent us from being our genuine and authentic self sometimes. Having that imposter syndrome of saying, am I good enough? Can I do this? Um, how do you, suggest we should overcome this constant fear and continue to charge forward, especially when, we are not able to sometimes break through our past beliefs and judgments?
No matter where you are in the world, no matter what culture, imposter syndrome is absolutely there, where fear, what I call future events appearing real, is very prevalent. And, just taking it day by day and slowing down your thoughts of, I'm not good enough, or I'm paralyzed, or I'm dumb, or I'm stupid, or I can't do that. That person, putting another person on a pedestal. It really starts again with your own thinking and quieting it down so that you're living from your wisdom or your sage, if that's what I call it. And that imposter syndrome, once you have clarity and purpose and truly know what your purpose and who you are in this world, and that you can show up in a different way that is authentic, and that confidence is there, and that courage, and that your vision and your voice and your visibility are heard, then think about, going back to what we were talking about, think about how you can amplify that in a shameless way,
right?
To know who you are and to be proud of it, and not let the judge of, other people being critical of you, you being critical of yourself or circumstances, run your life. I mean, does your brain run you, or do you run your brain?
Right.
Is really the focus of it. So it is not easy, and it takes a lot of work. I recommend different books. I have had to work through a lot of that myself, being I lived in Japan for 2 years, and a white woman living in a very, very homogeneous society, I was sexualized. And, living all across the world of, oh, you're blonde, and oh, you're pretty. And you know what? That doesn't mean anything. Whoever you are is beautiful the way it is. And that is the way that your wisdom and that you're truly can break through those things. That's why I love helping people of color, minorities, because I think that they have there's extra stereotypical things that different cultures put. Why is that? Why can't we all just be human and love each other as a human race?
Wonderfully said, Shelley. And that was our goal when we launched eWOW as well, that, even women, we get bucketized into women in tech, women of color, women in data science. At the end of the day, we are all women and we all want to be successful. And that's what eWOW does in terms of building that platform for, our women leaders to come together and learn from each other, lean on each other, and gain that experience and of being just best at their self. Well, we are of course excited to have you as a panelist in the upcoming eWOW Summit on 24th April. And as you know, the topic this year is resilience. How excited are you about the conference, and what can we expect there?
Oh my gosh, Shweta, it's such a gift that you're giving to the world through eWOW. And, eWOW has empowered women of the world. And it's a platform where we all can empower women around the world to discover and visualize and actualize their own success. I am completely honored and excited to be part of the resilience panel discussion, where I'll be sharing some of my views along with other industry leaders. Our goal is to empower and learn from each other. It's about to share similar experiences and really allow attendees to have, not only during that presentation, but how lucky is your audience to have free access to Skillsoft leadership courses for 6 months?
Yeah.
And then also have access to job opportunities. Oh my gosh, this is exactly how I want to help amplify other people's awesome. So let's do it.
Absolutely. So excited about it, Chelle. And, the conference is not possible without awesome leaders like you who are coming together to support women leaders and other diverse candidates, who have joined us for the conference this year. So very, very excited about it. Thank you so much, Chelle. We look forward to having you on our panel, and we'll continue our discussions there. Clearly, one podcast is not enough for all the experience that you bring onto the table. Thank you so much today. Okay, and today our resource for you all is the registration link to the eWOW Virtual Summit 2021. We will look forward to having you on 24th April. The link will be in the show notes. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you found valuable nuggets in today's podcast. Chelle was just awesome. I would love your feedback and thoughts. So please email us at empoweredwow@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you again in our next podcast. Till then, keep empowering the world.